Hello, hello, and welcome to this 45-minute practice where today we are going to work with setting an intention. So as I film it, it is the new moon today, the 1st of February, and it's a great time for setting an intention. It's the beginning of a new cycle, a new monthly cycle that we have. And the intention essentially is like planting a little seed that we nurture throughout the month, that is nurtured by the energy of the moon as well. So you can do this practice though anytime that you would really like to kind of anchor an intention into your life. So if you haven't already, just coming into a comfortable seated position, I'll just come and join you on the mat. Closing your eyes. Just resting your hands wherever they feel comfortable. And starting to move your awareness into the breath. Observing as the body breathes. The expansion of inhale. The softening of exhale. And imagining that the breath is creating a container, an energetic container. And into that container, we are going to place our intention. It may be asking, it can be an intention to receive guidance or support in an area of your life. It may be an intention that you wish to set for yourself, something that you feel that you would like to do that's nourishing and supporting for yourself, and just setting that intention. We don't have to kind of do anything. It's about nourishing this intention, keeping it in our awareness throughout this month, rather than how am I going to make it happen and this and that, because a lot of the time this doing actually creates a restriction that stops this intention flourishing and expanding and manifesting in the way that it wants to. So essentially we plant the seed and we nourish the seed, but we don't try and wonder how the seed is going to grow and try and make the seed grow. The seed will grow, we just let it be, but we nourish it. By our consistent kind of connecting into our intention, whatever it may be. Bring it into your awareness with the breath as we anchor it, as we plant it into this energetic container that is being created by the breath. So our practice becomes almost an offering. We're offering our practice, we're offering the energy of our practice to already start to nourish and sustain this little seed of intention that we've planted. And we'll also really anchor that seed in with the sound of Om. So hands into Namaste. Soft exhale out. Deep inhale to Om. Releasing Namaste, opening up the eyes. If it's not already there, cross your left shin in front of your right. We're going to move into side bend and then neck release. When we lift up into side bend, that sense that we are moving from the side of the torso rather than bringing shoulder up to ear, okay? So when the inhale comes, lengthening through the side of the waist, lifting the torso out of pelvis. Exhale, softening the front body in first. So when we take it over, it is a side bend. We're not flaring the front rib cage out. We're not extending through the front of the belly. The right arm is supportive, but also relaxed. So the elbow and shoulder are soft and the eyes are closed as we start to invite an inhale to anchor the left sit bone down into the earth. Exhale, inviting the left shoulder blade to wrap in towards the armpit. So this is prep for when we're on our hands. And maybe already the neck is softening, releasing. Right ear towards the relaxed right shoulder. A little glide of low jaw left to right, so we're not clenching. And also a release through the exhale of tension around the eyes. Stay in the side bend, neck release. Inhale, extending the fingertips of the left hand down towards the earth. So you're trying to reach down and at the same time exhaling a softening of right ear towards right shoulder. And that's an energetic softening. We don't place any expectation on the body to do something or to be a certain way. Our practice is being conscious with the breath and then exploring how the body is feeling today through the breath, rather than placing like a dictate on our body what we want it to do, what we think it should be doing, what it's supposed to do. You know, that's not welcome on the mat. What is welcome on the mat is closing the eyes, staying focused on the breath, inhaling down through the tips of the fingers towards the earth, energy extending out through palm of left hand. Exhale, softening of the low jaw, little glide left to right, releasing tension around the eyes. And then take either the palm of your left hand and place it on your sacrum, or tuck your left hand into the right side of your waist. So just a little bit more of an opening in the left upper chest, but softening again, an energetic softening through the exhale, drawing the left shoulder blade down. We never expect or want or aggressively push or force the body to do anything. Conscious breathing with intention of that breath is an invitation for the body to respond to that movement of energy that we call breathing, rather than just trying to jam our body into shapes and then tick a box because we're doing what we're supposed to do or how we're supposed to look like. Again, this is not welcome on our mat for practice. It's not what yoga is about. Yoga is a whole system that enables us to move away from the mind, to be able to watch the fluctuations of the mind and to start to soften the identification and the attachment that we have to it. Because that identification and that attachment is the root of all our suffering. So it's the journey with the breath as we create space that enables us to have a reference to place our awareness somewhere else rather than constantly identifying with the mind. Release your left arm, take your right hand on the side of your head and just help your head back up with your right hand. And we'll move into the other side. So crossing the legs over, so your right shin now is in front of your left. And again, as we move into side bend, trying to really get a sense of lengthening through the side of the torso rather than just jamming shoulder up to ear, because, you know, they spend enough of their life up there already. We don't want to exacerbate that in practice. Okay, side bend. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the right side of the waist. Exhale, soften the front body first and then take it over into side bend. Left arm is supportive as we were on the other side, but the elbow and shoulder are soft. And maybe the neck is wanting to soften here. And maybe not, you know, it doesn't matter. Our practice, really, our journey on the mat is learning to not, in a good way, not care. We let the body be the body that we have today with the breath that we're taking right now. We don't place expectation on it. We don't force or aggressively try and push it into a shape and call that yoga. Because that's anything but yoga, because that's actually perpetuating all the patterns that we have off the mat. Goals, achievement, somewhere to get to, trying, doing. And yoga, of which asana, the physical practice, is a small part of, is about finding space so that we have less identification with all of that way of being. A gentle pressure through palm of left hand to anchor right buttock into earth. And then your exhale, when it comes, inviting right shoulder blade to wrap into armpit. I say inviting because it may not want to do that, especially if you haven't worked with me before or done forest yoga before. So we're just inviting muscles to engage that are very happy to support us when we're on our hands, so that we get out of muscles that don't want to take any support at all. You know, if I had a quid for every time I've taught in class and someone had a rotator cuff injury, yeah, I'd be rich. So we want to support our body. Neck release, stay in the side bend. Inhale the fingertips of right hand down towards the earth. Keep reaching down. Exhale, an invitation. It's always an invitation for left ear to soften towards left shoulder. A little glide of low jaw, so we're not clenching again. A softness through the exhale, releasing tension around the eyes. And the eyes are closed. You don't need to really look at me a lot in practice. I cue most of it. So this journey as well, closing the eyes, moving into that internal space, into that more introspective space. One more. Yogi's choice, well, yogi's body's choice. Either place the palm of your right hand onto your sacrum or just wrap it around so you're tucking it into your left waistband. Again, we want to open the upper chest, so don't stick your belly out or flare your front rib cage out. So if you need to, soften that back in on an exhale. We are exploring very, very tight areas in our body. Every time we're on the computer, every time we send a text, you know, we're kind of rolling in a little bit in the shoulders, and the little muscles up there, pec minor, get very, very tight. I don't know anyone that's never sent a text, well, who isn't older than, I mean, you know, kids are on the really young these days, but, you know, everyone, we're on our computers, we're on our phones, so we all have tension in this part of the body. And rather than aggressively trying to almost manipulate it out, just breathe. Breathe up into the right upper chest, right upper back for 2 breaths. Release your right arm. Use your left hand on the side of your head and just help your head back up. It will appreciate it. Into a very open Baddha Konasana, so a diamond shape. So with the legs, there's a fair bit of energy here, so we're not just kind of like flopping out. So press the feet together just gently, and then get a sense here with the knees that you're trying to press your knees out. So there's imaginary walls here, and you're trying to press your knees into them. So you'll find there's a lot of engagement now in the legs. And as we reach up through the crown, there's a lot of engagement in the lower belly. So wanting to keep all this on as we move into eagle arms. Inhale, reach up, that lengthening through the sides of the waist, not shoulders to ears. On the exhale, left arm wraps under right. And again, it's your body's choice as to whether it would like to double bind or whether it would like to place hands on shoulders. Your ego will always tell you to double bind because that perceives that as being the harder variation. Therefore, we're trying more. So we tick this box. The harder I try, the better I am. A big, big pattern that we've all grown up in that really needs to be able to be observed. And this is what our practice gives us. It gives us the space to start to observe unconscious patterns and behaviors, the way that we live our life that maybe isn't so nourishing, bringing us back into more of a balanced way of being. Whatever you're doing with your forearms, your hands, inhale, draw the arms back into shoulders. Exhale, softening shoulder blades down the back. Doesn't matter if they move, that's an energetic release as the navel and front rib cage draw in. And then if you have the space, softening chin down to chest, and just get a feeling that you want to, with the breath, send energy into the space between the shoulder blades. And the inhale is almost kind of expanding that space. Maybe feeling the shoulder blades physically move away from the spine. Or maybe not. And again, we really don't care. We're not looking for validation in our practice that we're doing something right. Another huge pattern that's really good to watch, to be able to observe. Because yoga isn't just about get on the mat, do a practice, tick a box, get off. Yoga is about cultivating practices and experiences and ways of being that can then take off the mat and start to integrate into our life. Because yoga, when you practice yoga, the whole system of yoga, it's a way of being. Release, inhale, arms up, we'll go straight into the other side. Exhale, right arm under left, and don't get hooked up on the symmetry thing. So this side of your body may want to do something completely different from the other. And listen to it. The voice of the body, if there's no injury or niggle, is very subtle. The voice of the mind is a booming foghorn, so we always hear the mind. So just tuning in, allowing the body to express to us what it needs and what it wants. Inhale, arms back into shoulders. Exhale, shoulder blades down the back. Again, if you have the space, softening chin to chest and just imagining you're trying to balloon your shoulder blades away from the spine with the breath. Exhale, check in with the legs, so the feet are gently pressing in, trying to send the knees out to touch those imaginary walls. Not collapsing in the low back, so lifting the torso out of the pelvis. Release the arms, help your legs up, and then come onto all fours, do a little cat-cow, and then into down dog. So on all fours, hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are roughly hip width-ish. So don't knock out your elbows, shoulders aren't up around the ears. I know they like to hang up around there because they're so used to it. So you have to really keep that softness moving into cat-cow. So being led by the breath. On the inhale, try and let your belly hang loose. Opening of the heart, don't hyperextend in the neck, so try and keep long in the neck, so you'll look forward and down. On the exhale, the breath starts to round the back of the body. Look in between your legs towards your toes. That will release the back of the neck, base of skull. Inhale, again, being led by the breath. The breath is the foundation of our practice, not the pose. If you just focus on the pose and have a little bit of a breath as an afterthought, you're just missing the whole point of yoga. It's the breath, taking us into a more conscious internal space, cultivating internal awareness so that we can watch the fluctuations of the mind, which is the whole point of yoga. And then from that, as we watch, there's less identification, there's less attachment. Because we are not the mind. We've been brought up in a way that has created that belief, but we are not the mind. Inhale back into a neutral position, tuck the toes. So before you come up into downward facing dog, soften the elbow creases. That feeling of wanting to wrap the shoulder blades into armpits, squeeze the upper arms together, let go of the neck. So look between your knees towards your toes. Keep all that upper body activation, exhaling up into downward facing. No locking out the elbows, no jamming your shoulders up towards your ears, and no locking out the legs by jamming into the back of the knees, okay? We hold ourselves primarily with breath and then with muscular activation, never with joint locking, toe gripping, jaw clenching. So a breath here in dog. Three-legged, inhale, left leg up, left hip faces down towards the earth. Slowly on the exhale, you can bring your right knee down first if you want, and then help your left foot forward if that works for you, coming into low lunge, or you can place it straight through, but don't fling it through with momentum, okay? And then bring the torso up. Momentum means that we're not in control in that moment, and that's when you can really invite niggles into the body, and over time, niggles can turn into injuries. So we just don't go there, okay? Moving into twist, inhale, reach the arms up. Twist, exhale, draw the navel to spine, right elbow on left thigh. Make a fist with your right hand and cup it with the left, and then press your top hand into bottom fist, so the torso lifts up away from the front thigh. Shoulders, which may be up around the ears, drawing the shoulders back, okay? Try not to grip with your left toes. For most of us, we need to send the weight into the heel and inner ankle, and a little bit of softness in the neck, rather than like clenching and holding and gripping. It's okay to wobble. Trusting the breath, which brings in an internal support, rather than this need to make our practice rigid and static and hard and controlling. So be all right with the wobble. And then if you want to go there, tuck the toes under of the right foot to release the back knee. Don't lock the knee out. Just reach back through the right heel as if you were pressing into another imaginary wall. But don't lock the knee, okay? Reach back through the right heel if you're in high lunge, reaching down through inner left ankle. That constant pressure of elbow into thigh, so torso lifts. Softening the neck. Relaxing tension around the eyes. One more. Hands down, inhale, plank. Bring your knees down. So when you lower down, don't pop your elbows out. That gets into rotator cuffs. Don't stick your bum up, okay? So draw the navel in towards the spine. And then as you slowly lower down, your elbows are facing behind you. Squeeze your upper arms into your rib cage. Shoulders stay away from the ears. And you're just lowering, gently placing yourself down. Before we move into Sphinx, we want to organize the legs so the SI joint is happy. So tuck your toes under. And then reach back through one heel, like you're lengthening your leg out of your pelvis. And then reach back through the other heel, and then inwardly rotate your upper thighs, okay? So this will organize the femur heads into the pelvis. Release the feet. Now press your pubic bone into the earth, reach back through the toes, and then inhale up into Sphinx. So the elbows are underneath the shoulders, forearms are parallel. And as you press down, lifting out of the shoulders rather than like just collapsing down into them. Pubic bone anchoring into the earth, toes are reaching back, a very active pose here. One more breath. Slowly release, hands underneath shoulders. Keep your knees down, but inhale up through modified plank. Tuck the toes, exhale, downward facing, elbows are soft, shoulder blades wrapping in, squeeze upper arms together. Other side, inhale, right leg up, three-legged, right hips faces down, don't externally rotate it. If you need to, bring your left knee down, otherwise exhale, place your right foot forward first, then release your left knee for low lunge. Again, no swinging, no momentum. Bringing the torso up, good opportunity here to wrap the shoulder blades, to practice that as we move into twist. Inhale, reaching up through crown of head. Twist is initiated as you exhale, navel to spine, front rib cage in. Left elbow rests on right thigh. Make a fist with your left hand, cup it with your right. Have a wobble if you need to, like I just did. You know, there's this weird, distorted kind of perception that yoga is about, maybe because we see so much yoga like just static poses on social media or in books. You know, yoga is about fluidity and moving and wobbling and all of that, and getting stronger and focusing on the breath. Elbow presses down into thigh, torso lifts, shoulders away from the ears. If you're gripping with your right toes, send that energy into the heel and inner ankle, okay? And try and let go of your low jaw, glide it left to right, and have a softness in the neck. Stay here if you want. If you want to come into high lunge with me, tuck your toes. Now, don't lock your left knee out to come up. Instead, press back through the left heel. Keep reaching back through that heel. Keep reaching forward through the crown. Elbow presses into thigh, top hand into bottom fist, so there's space between torso and front thigh. Softness in the neck, softness in low jaw. Steady, even breathing. Release, hands down, inhale, plank. Knees down, again, don't stick your bum up, don't pop your elbows out. Bend your elbows so they face behind you, squeezing upper arms in, slowly placing your torso down onto the floor. Organizing your legs, so tuck the toes, reach back through one heel, reach back through another heel, inwardly rotate inner thighs. Release your feet, press your pubic bone down, reach your toes back. This time, inhale into Cobra. The palms are energetically dragging back, squeezing upper arms together. You're not locking out or pushing forward, that compresses into the low back. Energetically dragging back, reach back through the toes, pubic bone presses down, one more. Release, hands underneath shoulders, yogi's choice. Now knees up or down for plank or modified. Inhale, come up, plank or modified. Don't lock your elbows out. Exhale, slowly back into downward facing dog. A moment here, check your elbows are soft, the shoulder blades are wrapping into armpits, long in the back of the neck. Three-legged, inhale, left leg up. High lunge, slowly take it through. Or if you need to, place your right knee down, then move your left foot, and then release your right knee back up again. Okay, if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. Come in a little bit with the back foot, okay? So you have a neutral pelvis. So the glutes are very active. We want to squeeze down, activating the lower fibers of glute max and neutral pelvis, bringing the hands into reverse namaste. So your choice here, you can have your palms together, but they stay together, knuckles together, or opposite elbows. So I say the palms stay together because sometimes there's this sort of pulling away. So whatever is doing it for you, okay? And when you found your bind, no flaring out through the front rib cage, so draw it in. And we're going to take just 3 pulses, okay, with the back knee. Not going to touch the floor, just hovering it. And as you come up or down, don't stick your belly out because that means you're trying to use your rectus abdominis and your diaphragm as a core muscle. We don't want to go there, okay? We want to try and break that very common pattern. Soft exhale out through the mouth. Press your spine back into your bind. Inhale, lower the right knee, just hovering it off the floor. Keep the front body in. Exhale, press through the left leg to bring you up. Don't stick it all out, all right? Inhale, hover the right knee, press back into your bind. Exhale, use your left leg to come up. One more time, inhale, hover the right knee. Exhale, left leg comes back up. Release your hands, bring them up towards the sky. I'm going to lower the back knee down, all the way down on a count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, gently place the knee down, 1. Heel to butt. If you need to, take your left foot a little bit wider for balance. Inhale, right hand brings right heel into butt. So we have this anterior tilt, okay? So the pelvis tilts that way to get into this, and we need to work to release that out for our body. Try and imagine you're squeezing your glutes down towards your gluteal crease as the pubic bone softens back in. Shoulders are over the pelvis. This is when you start to wobble. And that's okay. There's lots of wobbles in life, all right? So we want to get used to wobbling on the mat. Reaching up through the crown, shoulders are relaxed. 1 more. Release, hands down, inhale, plank. Your choice now, knees up or down, slowly lowering all the way down, shoulders away from the ears, elbows facing behind, placing, not collapsing onto the earth. Organize your legs, reach back through your heels, inwardly rotate your thighs, and then press your pubic bone down as the toes reach back. Cobra, inhale up, energetically drag your palms towards you, don't push them forward. Elbows are soft, squeeze upper arms together. Slowly release. Inhale, plank or modified. Don't lock the elbows, exhale, downward facing. Other side, inhale, right leg up, 3-legged. High lunge, come into it as you need to for your body, okay? And then the torso comes up. Soften or bring the back leg in a bit to soften the knee, and then we have a neutral pelvis, front body draws in. Pick your bind, your reverse namaste bind, okay? So as we go up or down, not going to stick your belly out, all right? Or try. just try and just practice. Soft exhale out. Inhale, hover the left knee. One side's going to be much easier than the other. Maybe this is that side, maybe not. Exhale, right leg brings you up. Keep pressing into your bind, front body stays in. Inhale, hovering, left knee off the floor. Exhale, slowly coming back up. 1 more time. Inhale, hover it down. Exhale, bring yourself up. Release the bind, arms up, wrap the shoulder blades, lowering down for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heel to butt. Take your right foot wider if you need balance. I definitely do. This is my wobbly side. Inhale, left hand brings heel into butt. So this is when we start to move into wobbling, as we activate the glutes down, squeezing the gluteal crease, drawing shoulders back over pelvis. You can be internally stable with the breath, but externally very unstable with the pose. And that's a good thing to witness and practice, because when we're off the mat, if life is very unstable around us, we can find that internal stability. So we don't get so affected. We don't get so drawn in. We don't get so caught up in the dramas of life. And we can learn to observe them from that internal space of balance. Release the back foot. Just walk your right foot in and then bring the left foot up, coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. Uttanasana, just a reminder, is not a knee locking exercise, all right? So you want to keep the soft knee creases, engaging the quads, tilting at the pelvis, hands down in line with the feet, or you can rest them on your shins, long in the back of the neck. I know some systems of yoga do teach locking your knees out, and that's their system of yoga, but through my experience of teaching and my body and looking at other people's bodies, I really prefer to focus on using muscles to support and get stronger rather than locking out into joints. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, namaste. A little mini standing pose series. So left foot stays where it is, right foot out, warrior two. So another thing to be aware of is when you come into a warrior two or you move into a triangle and a half moon, which is where we're going to get into, don't force your pelvis open, because when you do that, you just force into your SI joint. So let your pelvis just be comfortable where it is, okay? Soften the back of the right knee. Lines of energy, you reach out and then you pull up through the inner thigh, and that's just practice. We're going to take reverse warrior, but first of all, plane your right hand and tuck it into your left hip crease or the left side of your waist. Palm of the hand faces up, left hand. Inhale, reach forward. It's a side bend, okay? Exhale, front body draws in, taking that side bend, which essentially is what reverse warrior is on warrior two legs. Neck release, let it go. Look down at your right leg. You can also check out what it's doing. If that knee is locked, soften it. Get strong. Don't get weak by having to lock joints out to hold yourself. Inhale, press down through in the left ankle, a little lift out of left hip crease. Exhale, lengthening through the left side of the waist. Jaw is soft. On the exhale, bring yourself up, warrior two, release the right arm out. Side angle, exhale, left hand to the inside of your left ankle, extending your right arm alongside your right ear. So squeeze your left shin and your forearm towards each other, keep the right knee soft. Right shoulder isn't jamming up around the ear, you're still holding it as if you're in down dog. So the shoulder blade is wrapping into the armpit. Don't grip with the toes on the left foot. Don't clench the low jaw. Before we come into triangle, bring your right hand on your hip. So triangle, don't lock your left knee out to get into it, all right? You're going to suction your femur up into the pelvis. And that's the same with the right leg as well. We're suctioning energy into the pelvis. Don't rest on your left leg with your left hand. Just squeeze your hand and your shin towards each other. And then right arm up to sky for triangle. Again, don't try and force your pelvis open, because you will force back into your SI joint, okay? So just let your pelvis be where it wants to be. That suctioning up of the femurs brings energy into the pelvis that we then extend forward out through the crown of head. Just going to move down the mat a little bit because we're going to take it into half moon now. So half moon, bring your right hand back on your hip, bend your left knee, take your left hand. You know, we're all different, but a couple of feet forward, a little bit out to the side. Don't lock out your left elbow. There's a natural external rotation in your right hip, but you're not forcing. Right leg is parallel to the floor, right arm up, half moon. Again, a softening of the neck. Don't lock out your left knee. Use or invite your quads to work, okay, rather than just locking out the knee. The weight is into the inner left ankle, toes aren't gripping, jaw is soft. Release your right hand, gently, just bring your right leg so your right hip is facing down towards the earth, and then bring your right foot to join your left. So we just come out of that in a more considerate way. Finding ourselves back into Uttanasana, knee creases are soft, quads are engaged, back of the neck is long. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, namaste. Other side for that little standing pose here is warrior two. Right foot stays where it is, left foot back. So again, don't block out your left knee. Don't try and force the front of your pelvis open. That's a very outdated cue that I listened to for many years and destabilized my SI joint because of it. It's very common in yoga, okay? So you have to look after your body. My pelvis wants to be here, so that's where my pelvis is. Okay. Energy through the outside edge of the left leg, a feeling of drawing up. Warrior two before we take it into reverse. Left hand round your back, tuck it into the right waistband, palm of the right hand up. Inhale, reach forward, the side bend. Exhale, front rib cage in. Take it over. Right shoulder blade is still wrapping into armpit. Neck is soft. No locking out of the left knee. Ungrip the right toes. Press through the heel and inner ankle. And as you press down into the earth, you get a little bit of a lift here in the hip crease that then expresses through the side of the torso. Jaw is soft, breathing is even and steady. Whether you're sitting on the floor, whether you're in a warrior two, it's exactly the same quality of breath. Exhale when it comes for you, back up into warrior two. Side angle, right hand down to the inside of your right inner ankle, press your shin and forearm together, and then left arm reaches over. But again, shoulder isn't up towards the ear, wrapping the shoulder blade into armpit. And you know what works for your body, okay? If you have a block, you can use one here. Reaching forward, neck is soft. Triangle, left hand on left hip first. So remember, it's not a locking out, okay, of your knee. As much as your leg might want to do that, it's a suctioning up of the femur. So the muscles are engaged, the left leg is also following. So we have this energy pulling up that then we can extend forward. Right hand is to the inside of your right shin, left arm up towards the sky for triangle. So drawing up, don't care where your pelvis is, don't try and jam it open. You know, that would only feel comfortable in your body if you know, this is all to do with like the shape of your femur head and the depth of your pelvic socket, okay? It's got nothing to do with flexibility. So if you had a very shallow pelvic socket and a particularly kind of sort of shallow femur head, or you were a ballerina and had been practicing it since you were about 3. So don't place expectation on your body to be a certain way. Half moon, I'm going to scoot down the mat a sec. Bend your right knee, right hand, couple of feet, you know, it depends on your body, but a couple of feet ahead and slightly out to the right. Try not to lock out the right knee. There's a natural external rotation in the left hip. Left arm up to sky, half moon. So the right knee hasn't locked, okay? The toes aren't gripping, the jaw isn't clenching. What is holding us is the breath. Steady, even breathing. Not fighting or forcing or being aggressive with our body in practice. Let go of clenching, of trying. Bring your left hand down first and then just turn your left hip so it's facing towards the floor, and then bring your left foot down. Come and sit down for a cosmic hug. So you can do a little cosmic egg, kind of cosmic hug, just hugging the knees in super tight, chin down towards your chest, or if you prefer a more spacious one, so the feet are wide, again, chin down towards the chest. Coming into a comfortable seated position. So we're going to spend the last couple of minutes of practice together. And our energy from practice is like the fertilizer and the water to really bed this little seed of intention into the fertile, energetic soil that is going to then enable it to grow and manifest. And again, a reminder, we don't have to work out how is it going to happen and what do I have to do. It's not about doing. It's about being, just being still, observing, trusting. For those of you that have plants, you know, we care for them and we tend for them, but we don't have to make them grow. That's what the plant does very naturally. So that's the same with our intention. So we're going to sit here just for a couple of minutes together, bringing that intention back into your awareness. And as we breathe now into that container that is holding the intention, being nourished by the energy of practice, the fertilizer, the water, the energetic soil, so that this seed can really bed in and grow really strong and really powerful and manifest our intention for us. So observing the breath, that's all we do. Everything is taking place as it should be. If the mind wanders, which it does, it's okay. It's what the mind does. Just choose to keep coming back, placing awareness on the breath. Your intention very apparent in your energy field. To seal all of this in, hands into Namaste. As we seal our practice, we seal our intention, and we offer our gratitude for our practice, all through the sound of Om. Soft exhale out. Deep inhale to Om. Just a couple of breaths here. And then gently opening the eyes. Thank you so much for wanting to practice with me. I hope you enjoyed this and that your intention has got strong roots to manifest for you. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.